or that, this 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 or that.
You could get with this, or you could get with that. You could get with this, or you could get with that. You could get with this, or you could get with that. I think you get with this, 'cause this is kind of fat. You could get with this, or you could get with that. You could get with this, or you could get with that. You could get with this, or you could get with that. I think you get with this, 'cause this is where it's at.
We're going to get into this, and we are going to take this whole thing from the Pelicans' point of view. If you were the Pelicans GM, what would you do? So first up, this Lakers package. Wilbon, you're going to start this one off. All the non-LeBron Lakers or Anthony Davis?
Well, the deal hasn't been made. It doesn't seem like it's going to get made, so clearly that's a signal. He's not answering the phone for the Lakers.
I would
answer phone calls. But, I mean, Ingram is better. He's so much better without LeBron. He's averaging 20 points a game without LeBron, but with him. And then I really like Kuzma. I mean, the jury's out on what they think of ball, but I think they would say Anthony Davis, and that's why the phone is still ringing.
Silence. Paul?
Anthony Davis.
Okay,
I got to stay with this generational talent.
Yep.
I mean, come on. You don't get players like this don't fall into your lap every day. You can find a Kuzma, you can find an Ingram, but not an Anthony Davis.
Okay, that's fair. How about, and you're going to start this one off, Anthony Davis or the Knicks duo of a recovering Porzingis and the rookie Kevin Knox?
That's one I may take a chance on. That's one, because Porzingis is a new generation big man. He doesn't need much athleticism. If he gets back healthy, which I believe he will, then you got a promising rookie in Knox. That's a deal I can live with, trading for Anthony Davis.
Well, okay. That's big.
I could live with it, too, if you can assure me that Porzingis, and Paul's right about this particular thing. People are coming back from this injury now pretty good as pretty close to 100%.
Yes.
Where there's some other injuries that still, bother people for 2-3 more seasons. If you can guarantee me that, I might be able to live with it, but I got to see Porzingis. Has there been a video?
It's been a minute.
Video of everything in the world. There's no video lately of Porzingis running
Too many things,
on the
really.
beach. Nothing.
Running on the beach.
Something.
Wilbon, we'll talk about it in the break. Thinking ahead to the draft and a potential opportunity for your Bulls, actually. Anthony Davis or the likely #1 pick, Zion.
Okay, so
that's a good one.
I'm really conflicted here because Anthony Davis again, Chicagoan. And by the way, I think the Bulls will be conflicted. If I can have Markkanen, Wendell Carter, and Zion Williamson, you're giving me an entire front line if I am the New Orleans Pelicans. Right? And you're talking about guys on rookie contracts, so you'll be able to do some things in free agency as well. I think I might do that. If I'm the Bulls, Paul, I don't know. The energy that Zion Williamson is going to bring whoever he's drafted by to that place, that arena, that city, I don't know if I do that if I'm the Bulls.
If I'm the Pelicans, it's bye-bye, Anthony Davis. And
wow.
We'll order you your Uber, and we'll have one when you land. Because if I can get Zion Williams, Wendell Carter, and Markkanen, I got to do it.
Whole front line.
Okay, but he thought about it. He thought this one out, which I kind of like. This would maybe break the internet. Maybe.
What's this?
Anthony Davis, and Paul, you'll start us out on this one.
Right.
Or Draymond Green and DeMarcus.
Oh, that's a good one, man. Because Draymond is, he's a good piece, and then you got DeMarcus Cousins starting to look. He looked like he gonna get back into his rhythm. But I'll take Anthony Davis on this one. Like I said, a generational talent again.
Wow, really?
I'm just going with now. Right now, Draymond is not playing like Draymond, and DeMarcus Cousins hasn't got back to that level yet. And I know what AD is bringing every night now before he had his injury.
Well, okay.
This is hard.
This one's legit.
I've gone back and forth a few times. I watched DeMarcus Cousins last week in a couple games in person in Washington. And Paul, he's still, when everybody's gone small with their lineups, right? So when he catches the ball in the post, which nobody even looks to throw it in anymore, and he seals, it's an automatic. I mean, he can shoot like 65, 68% the rest of the way because teams are small and they have no resistance for DeMarcus if he's all the way back. He's all the way back here, but he's coming. And then Draymond brings some elements
come on.
And you know what?
That's a tough one.
It'd be fun.
And if Coach Gentry's still there, he was an assistant. He's been on that staff. He knows how to deal with Draymond in terms of what he wants to do on the court and the way he likes to be used. I might go Boogie and Draymond.
Okay. Wilbon taking some shots here. I kind of like it. Take some chances. And you mentioned Alvin Gentry there, and he brought this up earlier in the season. Wilbon, I'm going to start with you. Anthony Davis or Beyonce?
What are we talking about? Are we talking about singing? Are we talking about just
life?
who
Just
I want to
life.
have in the arena every night?
Oh man.
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna avoid any trouble.
What? That's no fun.
I'm gonna avoid any trouble and just answer the safe answer. Say Anthony Davis.
Are you kidding me?
I want Beyonce
Anthony
for
Davis.
any purpose that is not basketball. Singing, entertaining, smiling, just being in the room.
This is an easy one, Beats.
Is
I'm
it?
going with the one that puts up 30+ million a year and fills the arena. Beyonce.
True, she does.
I've seen the arena with Anthony Davis on the court.
I've seen some empty seats.
And I've seen an arena with
you're right.
Beyonce on the
You're
court.
right.
It's sold out.
I know what those
What are the
scalp
owners
tickets
trying to
go
do
for.
right now? If you're not winning championships, it's about making money.
By the way, have you ever had the Beehive come after you? Really? I have. No, I've had. It's a tough group.
Okay.
Our NBA Friday doubleheader
my
tips
answer
off.
now.
Yeah, no, it's whew. At the Garden, Kyrie and the Celtics taking on the Knicks, and then Jokic and the Nuggets hosting James Harden and the Rockets. Our coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern on ESPN, and of course, the app. How about tonight's Rising Star, brought to you by Mountain Dew? DeMarcus Sabonis, Mountain Dew Ice, has averaged just under 14 points in 13 games without Victor
Most
Oladipo.
improved player.
Pacers are 2-0 against the Wizards this season. We'll find out if that continues.
Or maybe
at the
sixth
top
man of the year.
Of the, you're just
that?
you're just feeling real awardy lately.
He's
Coming up,
on the radar.
Portland's electric backcourt duo receives a visit from a man who knows a thing or two about legendary duos. Scottie Pippen talking about the best backcourts and how to bounce back from last year's disappointing finish.
I'm back to NBA Countdown, presented by Mountain Dew Ice.
They play the heck out of some basketball up in the Pacific Northwest. Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum have been the all-star caliber faces of the Blazer franchise for years now. But deep runs in the playoffs have eluded them. They got to visit this guy this week from a guy whose understanding of playoff runs is the deepest it can be. Scottie Pippen met Dame and C.J.
I be on the way, yeah, I be on the way. Every single day, I just grind to pay, yeah.
I'm most looking forward to talking to Damon and CJ. They can score the basketball. They can make plays. They're as good as any tandem in the NBA. What's up, fellas?
Good, right?
Man, it's so great to be back out in the Northwest, dude. This place has changed so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you,
way
you
different
guys.
than when you was in here, man.
What I really like about what you guys do on the basketball court is you guys play together real well in terms of chemistry, and you're dedicated to this franchise. You know, I haven't heard you guys complaining about, I want to leave, I want to win a championship. Much respect to you guys for that.
Appreciate that. Appreciate it, man.
So I got to ask you guys, CJ, who's the toughest guy you've had to guard?
I say on the ball, James. Off the ball, either Steph or Clay because of the movement.
Damon.
I think the same. You know, we play like the Rockets, we all end up guarding James, getting switched on to him. Off the dribble, he's just so crafty, drawing fouls, step back both ways. It's hard to guard. But in my career, my rookie year, I played against Kobe, and I was like serious.
Yeah.
He was that deal for real, for real.
He was a little bit like that guy I used to play with, Jordan.
Like Jordan, yeah.
Yeah, but
exactly.
I used to guard Michael a lot in practice, and I totally understand a tough guard. I would say Dominique was probably my toughest guard because he was shooting threes from beyond the arc back in the 80s and the 90s, so he really expanded the game. All right, guys, I've had a lot of fun on this court. Let's make a three before we go in the film room.
Let's do it.
All right, who want to go first?
I'll go first with spot.
I know you
Where
guys
shooting
are.
from the
Hey.
slot.
Don't y'all let me make one before y'all, man. Okay.
Come on, man.
Hold on, man. No. Hold
spray that.
on. Make it with a hand in your face.
I shoot better with a hand in my face.
Oh,
man.
okay.
Stop playing, man.
Bro, hey, you need legs for this. That's the first thing that you lose when you get old.
Hey, big shot, big shot. There it is.
All right, guys, let's go in this film room. I'm wondering why my number ain't up there. You guys are ranked among the league as the best pull-up guys. Damian from 3, CJ, mid-range. Tell me a little bit about what you guys are feeling when you're pushing the ball up.
We play a lot in pick and roll. We constantly telling our bigs to, make sure you get a piece of them, because if the big is back, I know that I'm pulling up for 3 every time.
I'm just trying to keep the mid-range alive, for the OGs out there that used to shoot a lot of mid-range shots. just trying to get to like a little sweet spot around the elbow area. And bigs usually bad guards, usually chasing, so you can just kind of stop on a dime and pull up.
Anytime you got an advantage on the defensive player, they were able to stop you on a dime. And by me being a point forward, I was able to always see the floor. So I had opportunities to just pull up on shots because I felt like in the half-court situation, I was more focused on running the team, and I tried to score my points out of transition.
You got nice, maybe.
Yeah. And that's my Blazer days here. You're out on the West Coast. You got CP3, you got Harding in Houston, you got the Splash Brothers. How do you feel like you line up against those sets of guards?
Obviously, there's a lot of good talent. The Splash Brothers have won multiple championships. They bring a different dynamic with the way they play. I think that we go compete against everybody. We go give ourselves the best chance of winning. And I think it showed, and as we continue to progress, it's about carrying over what we do in the regular season to the playoffs.
The last time the Blazers was in the Western Conference Finals, I was a part of the team. Do you guys see yourself being in those shoes one day, playing for a championship?
I hope so.
As a Blazer?
I mean, that's the plan, man. I think it'll happen. You know, eventually, I think that's the way it's gonna work out.
I really appreciate you guys giving us your time this afternoon, and I wish you nothing but the best going forward this season.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Good to see you.
Thank you, guys.
Put that uniform back on, man.
All right, man. I wish I could, dude.
So only two pairs of teammates have averaged at least 20 a game each of the last 4 seasons. It's Steph and Clay and Dame and CJ. That's not bad. This season, they are averaging a combined 47 points a game, which is 3rd among all backcourts in the league. I wonder if Scotty could put the uniform back on. SportsCenter tonight after Jazz Blazers and After the Buzzer with Neil and Stan. Reactions from Pelicans fans after New Orleans' first home game since AD's trade request. Some Doncic debut in the Big Apple, and Super Bowl reports begin with Atlanta. A look at the battle in the trenches. SportsCenter, 1 a.m. Eastern on ESPN and always the app. With John Wall recovering from a season-ending injury, the Wizards' hopes lie squarely on the shoulders of that man, Bradley Beal. Before he defends his house against Indiana tonight, we'll get a little look inside his actual house. That's next. Paul.
That's my man.
Shout out.
That's my boy. That's my boy, B.
Does it make you feel old or honored or both?
A little bit of both.
Okay, good. I just want to see if that was like that was a fair thing to say. We're actually closing in on our game, which means it's time for our final countdown. I'm going to start with you, Wilbon. Bradley Beal, we saw all of the cuteness that was, and he seems to be having a heck of a year. How's he gotten better, especially without John Wall?
Well, he's been more assertive because he's had to be, Michelle. 28 points a game, 6 assists a game in January, and 29 points a game since John Wall went out of that lineup, and 6.5 assists with him out. Only 4 assists before that. So every part of Bradley Beal's game had to get better and has.
He's getting more responsibility, and that's a big part of it.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because Domantas Sabonis only scored 6 points in his last game against the Warriors, and now obviously with Oladipo out, he also has to do different things. So how do you get him to do that? Well,
yeah, he's going to have an expanded role, but he's not a superstar. He's a great role player, you know, and he benefited off a lot of things that Oladipo did. So, you know,
but 6 points is not.
Yeah, he has to do better than 6 points. He has to do a little more gritty on the rebound, and so he'll be better though. 6 points. He's just traumatized because his guy's not out there with him.
How about Satoransky? What do you like about this guy's game, Wilbon?
Well, Michelle, I know he's like in slow motion compared to John Wall, but pretty much he is.
Yeah.
Listen to these results against performances against playoff teams. At San Antonio, 21-9-8. He had a triple-double against Milwaukee. He had 21-10 against Golden State in a close loss. And the Wizards moved the ball so much better. 4th in terms of number of passes per game with him in there. They were like 26th before. So they've got some activity, different style of play.
This is an interesting matchup because what are the expectations for these two teams now? You know, they both lost their superstars.
Tip-off, Pacers-Wizards coming up next. We'll see you at the half. Send it out to Mike Breen, Jeff Van Gundy, and Tom Rinaldi with the call.